Good morning, and this is Chandrakant from Akulmach Technologies, and I welcome you all to this very interesting edition when we want to discuss about the first paperless budget from the Indian government. To discuss further, let me invite my friend from UK, Mr. Naval Gund.
Good morning, CK. Money, money, money. Hey, don't we love a budget? Don't we love a paperless office? Come on, CK, spill the beans.
Right, I think the Indian government has started the first paperless budget, and they have also launched an app, which we will come and discuss more about in a minute. But let's throw some figures. The size of the Indian economy is almost $3 trillion, and if you look at the GDP as a measurement, and that makes it the fifth largest country among all the 203 countries in the world. And if you look at the PPP, which is a people purchase power, then we are at $10.5 trillion, which makes India as a number three economy in the world. So, the budget of India, which is an annual affair, is a very big deal. Especially, we are among the top countries, top 10 countries, and whatever we decide will have a global implications. So, this is one thing which I thought I will inform you. And there are other bit of information which I also want to inform you about is the split of GDP, and that is in terms of the different sectors that we have. One of the large sector is agriculture, which contributes to about 16% towards the GDP. Then we have industries, which is 25%. Manufacturing is slightly low. I think it could be better, and that is stands at 14%. And a large chunk of GDP is services. So you see, India is a very big services destination, which is almost 50% of the economy is based on services-based GDP. So that is why the budget is so important for us and for a lot of other countries as well. For your information, Naval, uh, the budget was presented for 2021. Sorry, 21-22. The It was presented in Parliament yesterday, and as we speak, the debates are going on. So, you have any opinion or thoughts about this?
You threw some big numbers at me there, CK. And fortunately, in my life, I can actually deal with those big numbers because I've lived in the big number world for years, especially in my finance roles in the oil and gas industry, where you used to put 3.2 and it wasn't 3.2 pounds. It wasn't 3,200 pounds. It was 3.2 billion pounds. So, and the reason we put 3.2 is you can't put all the zeros by the end of it. Remember those days of calculators? If you were to start to put 1 trillion into the calculator, it would come up with a E at the end of it, error. We
Right.
can't go to those numbers. So, fortunately, these days of progress, we've got spreadsheets that can actually go to those sort of numbers. So, wow, fifth largest economy in the world, purchasing power, 10 trillion dollars. I mean, these are just phenomenal numbers to get your head around. And I bet there's a lot of young people at school thinking, I can only just about count up to 10, let alone a trillion. I mean, how long would it take me to count up to a trillion? So, yes, I mean, these are big numbers. And for anybody in the world to say that Indian economy is not going to be a global player, they need to start thinking again. Because, as you said, being the top 10 in the world anywhere, in anything, all of a sudden people need to start to listen. And it's a growing economy too. It's an exciting economy to be part of, and a growing, expansive economy, thinking about exports and imports at the same time. So, yeah, I mean, these are amazing times, really, on the back end of last year, COVID, So at last we've got some excitement coming out of the pipeline. But paperless office, that's what we need to be talking about. Because just imagine cutting all those trees down to talk about this $3 trillion budget. I mean, it's quite crazy. It's also quite crazy, by the way, that we talk in trillions of dollars because you can imagine what it would be in rupees. I mean, it'll be what, $3 trillion would be what, 300 trillion rupees?
I will tell you in Indian calculation system, it will be 36 lakhs crores. So there are two
Yep,
measurements there.
there you go. Just the thought of 36 lakhs.
Crores.
Wow. Exactly. And you just go, that, that's just going to blow my mind, really. And it's
So
certainly not
simplify.
lacking in anything, is it?
Just to simplify the numbers, this 36 lakhs is 36 followed by 5 zeros, and then crores is followed by sort of multiplication of 8. So it's 36 into 100,000 into $1 billion. So it is like $1 billion. So it is like 8 zeros after that. So
You probably lost lots of mathematicians along this way. So let's forget the numbers for the moment, and let's look at the way that the government have put the budget out there, because I think this is the most exciting bit, really. Not the fact that India is one of the leading lights in the world economy, but the exciting bit for me is this app. So let's hear more about this app and how people are going to get involved in it.
So, Naval, the interesting bit is that the budget is not yet finalized. It's just tabled as of yesterday. There was a speech by the finance minister, and really the arguments will start today in the parliament. And the budget is the as it is stands today is already out for the public scrutiny. You can download using an app, and so let me show you, what this app can do. Let me switch over my view the to the show you my mobile in a bit. It'll take a few seconds when I
Sure,
switch
sure.
over to my mobile. So while this is happening, I will just talk about that. It's a app which we can download on Android and iPhone, and download it. I downloaded it, and I'm very excited to bring it to you. Can you see my mobile screen?
Yes, I can. Now we're seeing into your. This is CK's home screens. This is what he uses, everybody. So have a quick look in here. This is an insight into CK's mind.
You
While
can
we're
say
here.
that. You can say that. This is my mobile, and
I bet you use Uber a lot, don't you, currently? The answer
I
is
don't
no, you're
use
not
it.
using Uber. No, exactly. We're all a bit locked down here.
So I have downloaded this Naval, and it is available on my homepage, and it's an icon. I just go straight into this, and it says the Union Budget of India with the Indian logo, and I just enter this app, and then it starts. So it's so simple. Earlier, if you had to access budget, it was a humongous exercise. You need to find an expert who can take you there to that page, to that para. But here you can just download it in your mobile and review it. You can see how the government planned it, and after the arguments and approval from the parliament, lower house and upper house, and finally the president, you will know exactly how this budget has shaped up from the current situation to after few days from now. So as you can see that you can choose multiple languages, and since this is the first time, there are only two languages here, which is English and Hindi. So I'll go ahead with English, and then there are certain things here. Let me go to the speech. So what was the presented here was also recorded, and the text of that is available in the form of PDF. So this is a speech as of the finance minister as of yesterday, and the entire speech is here. Somebody missed it. Somebody wants to do a little bit analysis of what she talked about. Um, any confusion, because when it comes to the press, there is always some confusion. So you can correct your perception by reading the speech. It was a 6 hour long session yesterday, and it was a high level presentation on the budget. So this speech contains all of that. And then if you want to look at a glance, then you can look or click on this first tile, which will take you to at a glance what is covered. And surprisingly, this is a PDF which is in Hindi language. Probably, can we read Hindi, Neville?
No, but the point is, it was a couple of observations. Really simple screen to manipulate. Once you click on it, it does what it says. It actually tells you budget at a glance. It's going to be a budget at a glance. The full statement, and it's great because, as you say, one of the key things that we struggle with around the world is getting really good communication. So this is typical of what a communication expert would say, straight from the horse's mouth. There's no middleman. You're actually seeing it as it's presented, which I think is the best way round, really. And then you can go and read in the newspapers people interpretation, and you can go onto Twitter and all the social media platforms, and you can listen to interpretation. But I just absolutely love this. I think this is really the way forward. I'm sure this has taken an awful lot for anybody to do, let alone a government. And I think we've got some real simplicity here. So, what's your thoughts, CK?
Absolutely. Yeah, and since this is available on my in my hand, in my mobile, I have freedom to search whatever you want. And as you can see, the search bar is very prominent. You can search on what you're looking for, and then it also, by nature of the app, it gives you different tiles so that you don't waste time searching for things which you're not necessarily looking for. So things like expenditure profile, where the money of the government will be spent. You can straight away click on that, and you can find out what is what is the state expenditure, what is the general expenditure, and so on and so forth. So if you want to do really do research on this, you can actually go and drill down this document, or you can download the complete document, which is also attached here at the top. You can see that there is a just above the search bar, there is a place where you can download the entire document. So if your mobile device or your tab or your PC has the space, you can download the entire budget. So I think it makes very easy for a common person to just continue looking at the budget as it is being discussed in the parliament. And by the way, the Indian parliament is also live telecasted. So if somebody is interested, really following what is going on and how the budget is going to shape, some things may be dropped, some income tax may be added, some cess may be added, some cess may be dropped. So you can actually be with the government of India and monitor these changes as they happen.
It's brilliant. I mean, it's a very transparent approach. It looks easy. Should we test it? Should we give it a little test? Go into the search bar and let's put a term that is on the tip of most journalists' tongues at the moment. Let's put in farming, shall we?
I'm doing income tax.
Okay, put income tax.
Nothing is happening. Okay, let's go with farming, your first choice.
You're going to need to spell it properly. There we go, farming. Didn't like that either. Agriculture. I mean, you can imagine this is a huge source file that it needs to go and.
Right. So I think some this is launched yesterday, and the plan is to roll out all the budgets for last 15 years. And I checked in the morning when I downloaded this app. Right now, it is showing me only one of the year, which is current year. But I
Right.
think as this app matures, I think the search may be enabled and it will be much more intuitive. But the important thing is, like, for example, if I want to go to budget at a glance, I can look at things like these, which are sometimes very difficult to even understand, like budget at a glance, and you can click on that and probably read only 5 pages. You see, if you want to
Yep.
read the budget at a glance, it says 5 pages. So you
Yep.
can just read the 5 pages. Interested in numbers, you can review these numbers, the split of various things.
Yep. Yeah, no, it looks good. Very comprehensive. I mean, we're looking at this for the first time. We're going and sort of testing it. We need to give a little bit of latitude while people are putting these things out there. So perhaps the search bar is not quite what it needs to be. But the more important thing, if you go back to the home page, CK, it's
Yes,
there for you anyway. So you can actually, I mean, I can imagine now as a student, someone who has never been interested in budgets or politics or what have you, you can now actually just click on here and find out about what's happening in your economy immediately. So I
absolutely.
think this
And
is this is a great stride. Actually, this is almost like going to Mars. Frankly, um, I feel as though we've just arrived on Mars and someone's given me how the economy is going to be sorted. So don't want to give them ideas, but that might be the way forward.
absolutely, I think it is very interesting because I think these guys have done a good job. And as we are progressing towards finalizing the budget, I think some of the search engine search commands which are not working will start working, because probably this is only interim and they are giving only PDF. So probably the search does not search nicely into PDF. But once the
Yep.
PDFs are finalized and the budget will be rolled out, which is before the during the month of March, and 1st of April it will be applicable. I think it will be much more comprehensive that time. Important thing is I'm very happy that I can see the budget. I don't have to switch on the TV, waste my time, and I can actually look at what tile I'm interested in and review that whole part of the budget.
And you're mentioning those wonderful words. You're not going to turn on the TV and waste your time. You're not going to get an interpretation of what other people are saying. You're literally hearing it from the horse's mouth. So in my language, behavioral waste has been reduced. So now that's going to help you focus. And it might just get other people that are not necessarily interested in government budgets, but it might help people get to the bottom of what's happening in their country. I think this is a superhuman effort by the people involved. The thought has come from any government around the world, frankly, is definitely a huge leap. I mean, it's the sort of thing you expect in a big corporate organization, not in a government body. As we know, public bodies tend to be quite slow in moving, but I think this is setting the tone for the rest of the world, frankly. So I wonder who's going to be next.
Yes, I think it is a big deal because the level of transparency this government is showing is remarkable. I think it's not the technology which is to be blamed; it's the will of the people who are actually driving things. So I think the bill is intent is also very clear. They want to be as transparent as possible because the thinking of this government of India is that they are the representative of people and people have right to know what they are doing.
Absolutely, it means that they can become accountable, as indeed they should be. At the end of the day, they're actually spending your money. They're collecting the taxes and then spreading that wealth around all parts of the economy for the benefit of everybody. So, yeah, they should be accountable. And what best way to hold people accountable than every citizen having access to the facts? So, fantastic strides forward. Thanks for sharing that little move around the app. Look forward to seeing it unfold and the debates, of course, because as the debates crystallize opinion, the budget will change. And it's a lot easier to change a budget when it's all in one place.
Certainly, I think this will also avoid the confusion which is created every year because of fake news and trolls and Twitter handles which are designed to do this work. So I think it will have a much better positive outlook. Having transparency, and you can, by just doing this small thing, you can actually avoid the entire fake news bust their designs.
We can all take a few lessons from that, CK. So thank you for sharing that today. I wish everybody to have a fantastic day and a fantastic week ahead. Get the app, find out what your country's doing. Get involved. You never know, you might be the next Prime Minister.
Absolutely, Neville, and thank you very much for finding time. In fact, I'm quite excited, and I'll tell all the citizens of India to download it and review the budget because it concerns all of us. So, with this, I say goodbye to Neville. And Neville, we will catch up again with something more interesting tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.